Horror games, scary looking models, jump scares, thrillers is what you think of when you hear horror. But what if I told you the word horror is now lore? Let me explain. As we all know, horror games aren't good right now. Literally all horror games now are just run away from the monster, or I think that's about it really. So let's start off with Patient Zero, Five Nights at Freddy's. If you don't know what Five Nights at Freddy is, well, I don't know what to tell you, but I'll explain it. Pizza with robot opens, and then Purple Man kills children hunt robot, and robot turn into this. The robot is way more convoluted than this, but it's the shortest explanation possible, trust me. FNaF is probably the most popular horror game of all time, and the best too. I mean, it made me shit my ass when I played it. FNaF was the only game to truly popularize lore and horror games. Because of this, many other games followed its footsteps. This lore popularity eventually ruined the FNaF franchise itself. I have to express my opinions about this real quick. I think FNaF 1 to 3 was peak FNaF story mode, just saying. Anyways, when FNaF concluded with its 6th installment, it had the best ending of the entire franchise, concluding all of the loose ends, answering most of the questions, and freeing all the souls. Honestly, that's where the game should have ended, but instead we got VR chat, help wanted and security breach. We all know how much of a mess security breach is, and from here on is where the game goes downhill. Fucking viruses taking over computers and shit, then after still being live. What a mess. FNaF isn't the only game that destroyed itself. In fact, FNaF is possibly the only game to capitalize on story and become very successful with it. Y'all remember Hello Neighbor? Well, that game sucks now. That's about it. So no. This game went from being a promising horror survival game to begging game theory to talk about them. This is probably the best example of story ruining horror games. What a mess this game became. I used to follow this game religiously when it first came out, checking out for updates every other day, to just completely forgetting about this game. Hello Neighbor is about a guy trying to break into another guy's house and checking what's inside his basement. Simple, right? But there's a catch. Each time you break in and fail, he will remember where you came from and try to prevent it, so the AI will remember what you did last time. This is what made the game unique, and it's pretty much the core of the game. So naturally the game received a lot of support and hype. Then all of that went down to shit. You know, normally you have a story to the game so that the game makes sense, right? These bozos completely forgot about what made the game unique and just went full story mode. But can you blame them though? FNaF literally fed off theories, stories, and became what it is today. So it's no wonder why Hello Neighbor went full overdrive on story. After Hello Neighbor fully released, the developers just started releasing spin-off after spin-off, just pure garbage. There's a bright side though. The few people who still follow the game have a bit of hope that Hello Neighbor 2 will be a somewhat decent game. Poppy's Playtime is the most recent horror game that I can think of right now without having to do any research. No, all of my info is based on chapter 1, so I won't be talking about it a lot. The only thing that is horror about Poppy's Playtime is just running from the scary puppet monster. That's all of its horror pretty much. Everything else is just puzzle. This game is also just purely focusing on story and story only, but it has made the game a bit popular. Hopefully they can actually build off of this and not fuck up their game. The only downside is that there's not much scare stuff. I want to make an honorable mention before this video ends. Subnautica wasn't supposed to be a scary game, but it sure made me shit my pants. Then Subnautica Below Zero came out, and I know how I feel about that. In summary, this video is going to take me a while to edit, and horror games are just story games now. Thank you. I hope you enjoy.